Hey besties, welcome or welcome back to the Bliss Breakdown. My name is Bliss, and this is where you finally leave the breakdowns and enter bliss because today is the day where you stop overcomplicating manifestation and get whatever the hell you want. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the law of assumption, and I actually want to give you a tip before I start this video. Abandon everything you know about the law of assumption because, as I said, I feel like it's been overcomplicated so much to the point that it doesn't even make sense anymore. Okay, and I'm going to be giving you a analogy of it which is deep, but you will still understand in a way which you can apply it into your life. Okay, so that's tip number one. First things first, I need you to understand that you have been manifesting your entire life, okay? Manifestation is something which runs on autopilot, okay? It's like gravity. Gravity never stops, no matter what. Everything that goes up must come down. Manifestation is like this. So you've been manifesting your whole life. What you're doing now is simply just conscious manifestation. You were manifesting before you found out about the law of assumption. You were manifesting before you found out about the law of attraction, because I know some of you have had that phase. Trust me, I know. You've been manifesting since you found out about affirmations, since you found out about subliminals. Essentially, you've been manifesting this whole time, okay? And normally people ask me, okay, but Bliss, what do you mean I've been manifesting my whole life? Well, let's really think about it, okay? Because nobody is born with the assumption that believing money is hard to make. Nobody is born believing they're attractive. Nobody's born believing they're unlucky. Nobody's born believing they're always accepted. Those ideas stem from somewhere, okay? Whether you heard your parents talk about them as you grow up, between the ages of 5 to I think 7 or 9, you are mentally programmed by the things around you, by your parents, by your TV, by things you consume. You are programmed about around them, okay? So maybe you've been rejected once and now you start telling yourself that nobody chooses you. Maybe you've had a few bad experiences and you start telling yourself relationships are difficult. At first, they're just thoughts, until you keep thinking them. And then those thoughts become belief. And then those beliefs become assumptions. And then eventually, those assumptions become the lens you see through life. That's why, for example, two people can experience the same exact situation but come to completely different conclusions. For example, let's say person A gets rejected and thinks, I'm not good enough, while person B gets rejected and thinks they're missing out. Same situation, it's just a different assumption. Now, this is where the law of assumption comes in. So, besties, I've explained how assumptions are formed, how they change your life, and how your life operates on your assumptions, right? Now, I'm actually going to explain how to apply the law of assumption to your life to manifest whatever the hell you want. Okay, so the law of assumption is literally just the idea that what you continuously assume to be true becomes your reality. Okay? An assumption is simply something you accept as true, the story you keep returning to, the conclusion you've made about yourself, your life, and the world around you. So if you assume money is difficult, you will experience that through assumptions. If you've spent your whole life assuming that you're chosen, you'll experience that through assumptions. And that's why affirmations work, okay? Affirmations aren't some magic or special powers, okay? Affirmations literally create assumptions because repetition creates assumptions. Think about it. If repetition created the old story, why wouldn't repetition create the new one? If you spent 10 years telling yourself money is hard, or you've spent 10 years telling yourself that you're unlucky, right? And now you start telling yourself that money comes to you easily. And now you start telling yourself that you are lucky. You're doing the exact same thing, okay? You're creating an assumption. That's all affirming is. It's choosing a new story on purpose, okay? And now we're going to get into one of the things which trips people up when it comes to the law of assumption, and that is persistence. Because anybody can affirm once, anybody can affirm if they're in a good mood. Persistence is what happens when your mind starts fighting back. Persistence is what happens when you don't see immediate results. Persistence is what happens when the old story tries to come back. All persistence means is returning to your old story. Persistence can be explained in many different ways. Some people say consistency, some people say discipline, some people say persisting. It all means the same thing, okay? Essentially, just returning back to what you have chosen that you want to manifest, okay? That's it. If your mind is telling you, but I don't have it, you return. Your circumstances say, but nothing's changed, you return. Doubts start flying everywhere. You keep returning, okay? Manifestation is not about being perfect, even though we are perfect, okay? We're all perfect. But it's about being consistent, because at the end of the day, the law of assumption is not about finding the perfect affirmation, the perfect method, or the perfect subliminal. And remember that reality runs on your rules. So you can decide if this is the perfect affirmation. Don't go and decide if don't go searching, oh, is this a perfect method, is this a perfect method. People get results on every single method, because it's not about the method. You are the method, okay? You are the method. You decide what works for you. Everybody has lived a different life before they found out about the law of assumption. What works for them works for them. What works for you will work for you, okay? The law of assumption is about returning to what is true for you, deciding and returning. You choose the story, you repeat the story, you persist in the story, and eventually that becomes your assumption. And as we know, our assumptions run our reality. They are the lens of our stories, okay? That's the law of assumption. Simply it. First off, choose what you want, okay? Repeat what you want and persist in what you want. I'm going to be honest, you need to be stubborn as hell. You need to keep your foot on the 3D's neck, on reality's neck. You cannot let go. Keep persisting, okay? And your manifestation has no choice but to come through, okay? That's literally it. You've got this, bestie. I love you. Happy manifesting. Mwah.